Alrighty, looks like we're up and going. Hello everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday stream of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Plus Mod. I'm Tarek, and we're going to be, well, playing Starfleet Command for the next 2 hours. We're going to have a good little time with it. Hopefully we'll finish our Orion campaign this week, and we'll be able to move on to bigger and better things. So let's load up the Orion cartel and see exactly where we left off. Zoom away out. Oh, we decided to pick up a couple of destroyers, that's right. We're now no longer running a singleton ship, we are running 3 vessels. Hello, Raider. Welcome to the stream. Yes, it's been a long day. It's been a long day for everybody, I think. It's been one of those days. Alright, so we are down to a cartel defense of 54. This is the primary target, and the rest of the Empire should be... Well, there's the 69 right here on the planet right there, but hopefully it'll all be super weak, and we can just go in and mop things up. So without further ado, let's hop over here, quickly check our supplies for the entire fleet. Oh, I forgot how much managing additional ships in the fleet can be a little bit irritating. But they are all kitted out perfectly well, so let's head back and cause some damage. Hopefully. Cross your fingers that we'll actually get cartel missions. Of course it's quarters. Why wouldn't it be quarters? Oh crap, I shouldn't have taken quarters. Quarters is a mission where there will be 2 planets. One is completely innocuous, and the other one is deadly. And there is also tends to be a random vessel hidden behind one of those planets. This planet, of course, is the deadly planet. Although how deadly is it going to be? It's going to be a 3. I'm not entirely certain how that's going to be. And this one is also 3. But this one has the dancing lights. Normally this planet is a PLPH and therefore has some sort of weapon systems, but maybe we're lucky this time and things will be completely fine. Maybe. Potentially. We'll prep a scatter pack and a wild weasel, get things all kitted out on there, and increase the speed of time to free up some power as we charge up our heavy weapons for whoever we're fighting behind the planet. Actually, we should go after this planet first, because this will be the one that is completely pointless and has nothing on it. So we'll kick up the speed to the maximum, come over here to the science panel, and kick on the deep scan. I'll actually slow down a little bit, just to make sure that we don't stop our plasma torpedo from fully charging. And once we have that done, we will be all weapons charged and ready to rock. Our our vessels must be closer. Yeah, we'll just do that. R-type plasma torpedo ready to go. Once we get on target, we'll be able to have some sort of effect. Although it seems weird that we constantly get this mission as pirates, because we're pirates, not scientists. We wouldn't normally be the ones who would go around scanning planets to figure out what's going on. Stealing from planets, sure, but this has always been a little bit weird. Also, the number of quarters missions we get is hilariously high. By hilarious, I mean somewhat irritating. Alright, deep scan is on. We'll figure out what's going on. Guys, please don't crash into the planet. Hey, there's an SKL. And let's see, heavily populated Romulan colony, and there is a single frigate off there in the distance. Oh, let's go kill it. So a single Romulan frigate shouldn't be any danger to 3 ships, 2 of which are X-type destroyers. So we're going to kick on the speed to full power. Also, there's the fact that the Romulan vessel will not actually attempt to engage us until after we shoot him. He's very accommodating in that way. So an SKL. Not entirely sure what class that'll be. Hopefully it's not going to be a pseudo-frigate tender, but that tends to be what a lot of their frigates end up becoming, and it's a relatively good class to have. We're going to kick out a Strength 1 tractor beam. Actually, I'm going to keep beefing this up until I have to drop it down to prevent us from overrunning him. A Strength 3 ought to be very good. And we'll just cruise on in here. We're going to hook him, and then we're going to fire everything we got into him just to make sure that he isn't able to cloak and disappear on us. We do, of course, want to be able to destroy him in as few shots as possible. He does have 3 plasma torpedoes, which will hurt a lot. Don't shoot him, guys. I'm actually not sure why they're not shooting him. I'm not going to complain, because that'll allow me to do my proper lineup behind him and kill him, but still. And we're within range. Hi. Bye. Oh, I didn't overload the phasers. We're gonna just hold here. And just gonna keep firing into them. The Romulans ain't our friends, so we may as well destroy them. And that should hopefully keep them from being able to do anything to us. Come on, phasers. Oh, we're about to get shot at. Unfortunate. We should probably start turning somewhat slowly to see if we can't get that forward shield away from him. Also, all additional power to the forward shields. Got some long-range fire going in already. Excellent. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Stressful day at work. See, we were just talking about how everything seemed to be pretty rough today, all around. Like, I had a long day at work, Raiders got a long day at work, and now you've had a long day at work. This is crazy. Wednesday apparently is a bad day for everybody. Well, I hope it's going to be better for everyone. And we'll all be able to chill out, relax, and scan the giant flashy planet. Although apparently this planet is held by the Federation. Interesting. We're going to drop down to yellow alert. We don't need weapons anymore. We've destroyed the only person who could possibly stop us from doing what we're doing. And we'll increase the speed of time. Zip on over there. As our nice little X-type destroyer escorts zoom all over the place. Actually, if I order you out of formation, will you leave the map, please? Or will you just stop? I have no idea. Oh, shoot! Turd. Oh, I knew I was getting a bit close to that. Let's get our scans going. That was close. Thank you! I was very surprised when I saw that it had finally ticked over. We're actually up to like 202 now, I think it is, which is pretty cool. There's nothing on the server that deserves our attention. Scanners are picking up intense energy readings from the planet's core. Should I try and steal it or something? No, well, the planet can't defend itself, so we are out of here. Alright, so everybody, let's leave. Unfortunately, because of the way that the AI works, I'm going to have to manually drag every single one of these ships off the map. So we should be able to, get on out of here. And there's the edge, okay. You're gone. And now you need to leave. In some direction. Yes, this direction. They don't follow me off the map, but I can't order them to disengage, so we'll get them the heck out of here as soon as we can. This is why I don't like quarters with fleets. Because it starts being weird. Thank you, Rare. Alright, we are gone. So, quarters is complete. Everything's been scanned. The Romulans have been destroyed. And now we can move off into the next objective. Now, what did I say? It was 56 was the current cartel defense? It's down to 49. Oh, we made progress. We're making progress slowly but surely. We shall take it. It shall be ours, and victory all around. Take an MT-17 patrol because we're a pirate faction, so it won't crash the game as we do it. And I saw quite large things over there. I am not super happy about that, but hey, we'll adapt and overcome. Get our shuttles ready. We are being escorted today by the Feta Avis, which is an RCH. And we're squaring off against two light cruisers and a heavy cruiser, which is technically what we are. We're a heavy cruiser, and the X-type destroyers are light cruisers, technically, in the way that the game classifies things. But still, that's a little bit rough. So we're going to set ourselves up for a maximum electronic countermeasures, as well as full forward shield reinforcement. Give ourselves as good a chance of surviving as anything else. And they've launched fighters. It is a BHV, so heavy battlecruiser or carrier, something like that. 2 hits from the photon torpedoes, it looks like. Which one are you? The Blade Caster. Blade Carver? Can't quit. Blade Caster was the one who managed to nail it, so he gets the extra bit of booty. And it looks like he managed to take out his entire forward shield, which is actually really surprising. Let's get some missiles involved in this one. A high energy turn to pull them away. Phasers to overload. Let's start taking out some fighters, because fighters are dangerous. They did open fire, and we managed to take out one group. Point defense systems going out, however, it does not look to be for our friends. You had even more fighters. Interesting. Okay. I'll really do something about this, and I'm not quite certain what to do about it. Fighters are a little bit irritating, but hopefully our point defense system will be able to handle things. Stephen Troy, it's been so long. Starfleet Command 1 player here mainly, but is there an active Dynaverse server? There is an active campaign multiplayer that started up relatively recently by the guys over at Hot and Spices. They recently sent me a PM about it. I haven't managed to get back to them quite yet on it, and I really do need to, because they sent a quite nice invitation. Phasers, can I get something? Thank you. Alright, so we've managed to deal with that. Let's get a higher energy turn going to whip around back on the Thief and see if we can't plug a plasma R torpedo right into his back. Get the missiles away just to precede things. Hi, fighters. I don't really care about you. Well, okay, now I care about you, but I'm going to try and destroy your mothership first. Photon torpedoes plus the plasma R torpedo. Nailed him quite nicely. That'll be 53 damage and another couple of missiles, and that'll shatter him. So we've taken care of the Thief, who's next. We've got you, who's got defensive plasma torpedoes, and you, who's packing 4 missile launchers. That's not too bad. So we're going to go for the defensive plasma torpedo wielder, mainly because, well, I want to take him out of the fight, in case there's any more pseudo-frigates left after he just died. We're trying to be helpful. And let's get a couple of more missiles on the way. Start to slow down. We don't need that much speed. We're doing relatively okay at this point, and as long as you stay out of range, I'll be perfectly happy. Although you are packing 4 drones, so that could be a bit of a problem. Oh yeah, the missiles are probably never going to get through. Oh wow, definitely not going to get through. I forgot that I missed the fact that he had a B-type anti-missile defense system, so we've got that to worry about. You would be the easier target, although you do have 4 B-type anti-missile defense systems. Still, I have a lot of phasers, and they generally tend to do a pretty good job. Let's open them up. Not too bad at all. Hardpoint defense system having no trouble dealing with that whatsoever. And I think I could force him. Yeah, we're going to force him to stop. Oh, wow, I forgot. Just the sheer range on the D-type plasma torpedo is more than a little ridiculous. So I'm just going to keep pounding you with energy weapons then. Because we're not going to get anything else through, and our plasma torpedo is not charging as long as I've got the electronic countermeasures to max. So I'll drop that down to 0. We probably don't need it too much. We don't want to hang out here too long. He does have slow drones, and if you're behind someone with slow drones, that makes them much faster. Because it gives them effectively the same speed boost for however fast you're traveling. You don't quite want to be doing that. So we've managed to weaken most of his shields. It does look like one of our little guys, the Sabertooth, is not having a good day. Although the Bladecaster is just killing it. So that's working out relatively well for him. We'll keep circling back on in, get ourselves back and going. Unfortunately, the Feta Avis is more or less worthless in this fight now, because he launched his pseudo-frigates so early and they were able to be destroyed by Mr. Anti-Missile Defense Cruiser over here. All of the pseudo-frigates were annihilated. We've got 2 photon torpedoes, so we may as well spend them. He has a defense shift of nothing. I'm going to get within a range of 5. And just to try and make sure that you actually take a little damage on that hull. Heavy phasers about to get right on involved right there. We've taken out most of his anti-missile defense systems at this point, so we may be able to get a missile or 2 through. We're going to give it a shot anyway. You may as well. And our Gatling, no, they're just 2 more phaser X's. He has Gatling phasers. Well, nice timing on that Bladecaster. You're just ruining everybody's week. We'll steadily come back on. Most of his forward shields are down. I'd like my R-type plasma torpedo back at some point. I really don't feel like doubling the engine, though, because I don't feel like wasting the repair parts. We've got him mostly annihilated, even if the Sabertooth is currently dying. So we'll cruise in with the heavy phasers and just continue to engage with that. Looks like somebody launched a scatter packet something. So open up another shield, steadily start to whittle him down, allow our XDDs to nimbly move around all over the place. Actually, let's do that. XDDs, go maneuver as you will. And no point in attempting to fire the missiles. They would never get through that. Waiting for photon torpedoes to get ready for another strike. But it's the phasers that are going to do all the main work. Still traveling at 17.9, so his warp core is still in relatively good shape. Oh, there it goes. Now it's dropping. He wants to be able to do other things. And, yep, those missiles are not going to touch me. I'm traveling quickly enough to get away. 20 more damage on through. Oh, that's... yeah, that's all of them. Okay, open fire with the missiles. Let's get our missiles. Oh, no, where is it? Oh, it's right in the center. I was trying to look for it back here in the back, and nope, not on that one. Long-range phaser fire, we don't really need to worry too much at this point. He's down to almost nothing, and there he goes. Not too bad. Although the Sabertooth has been absolutely mauled, that's going to cost quite a bit to repair, but we're sitting on a pile of prestige anyway, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But yeah, Steven, we, as far as I know, the guys at the Hot and Spicy forums, there's a mod link in the description below where we get the mod from. They're running a Starfleet Command 2 Orion Pirates, whatchamacallit, a cooperative campaign or multiplayer campaign. So at some point I am going to have to get to doing that, but because I play Orion Pirates, that makes it a little bit more difficult. And 38 repair on us, 210 on the Sabertooth, and the Bladecaster just being super cheeky like that. Although, one person has asked if we were going to start up a Discord, and I didn't really think that there would be any point to it. It's not like we have a very huge community, although I'm kind of curious as to hear what you guys think. One of the fun things about the streams is I get to hear what you guys think in a little bit more direct fashion. Is there any ships where photons can outdamage the phaser complement on a ship, the XCA? Well, so the XCA is going to be packing, what, 6 heavy photon torpedoes. They do 16 damage normally, 32 damage if you bring them all together. So 32 times 6, because you want to do math now. So 32 for the overload times 6 is going to be 64 times 3. 64 plus 64 is 128, plus 64 is 192, I think. So 192, and he's got how many weapons? How many phasers? Sean, do you happen to know how many phaser X's the XCA has? Because 200 damage is a pretty significant amount. But if he's got like 12 or 14 phaser X's, he can do more than that. We'll take a holding action, something easy while we try and do math in our heads. And try and recall. I think the XCA is packing 12 phaser X's. And 12 phaser X's times 15. So that'll be 180 damage. Yeah, the XCA, his photon torpedo complement outdoes his phaser complement. If I'm doing my math right, and if he does indeed. Although, then there's the Gatling phasers, and he's got 4 of those. So, yeah, that'd be an interesting thing to think, but I'm fairly certain the phasers have it if you include the Gatlings. He can't put all that into one arc, but he can try. Alright, so we're being escorted today by the Romai Palma, who is a Firehawk, actually he's a lower-end Hawk cruiser. What are you? Yeah, it's a Firehawk K, but he's got only the S's, so he's an older generation. And a K5RB, which is the Super Buyer. And yeah, that's also kind of sad. We're fighting up against a WVL, which is a War Eagle? Maybe a light dreadnought even. A light cruiser over here. It is an FSP, the Oris. And the P2TR, the Gavia X-Ray. I think it was super fun to set up a Discord. We could set up a Dynavore server and also have fleet level battles. Yeah, there is that. One of the things... Oh, yeah, he is a dreadnought, okay. One of the things, though, I don't have a whole heck of a lot of free time anymore. Between managing the videos, doing the streams, D&D, flying a DCS, and work, and recovering from my injury, I am starting to run out of time for everything. But we could set up a Discord, maybe. I'll put some thought into it. I've never run one before. I mean, I'm part of a whole bunch of them, but I've never taken any time to actually start one and do anything with it. But I'll definitely give it a look. Okay, you are mostly ignorable. I joined a Discord server and set up the Dynavore server if possible. I'd have a dedicated server with 512 gigabytes of RAM, tons of available space. That's pretty significant. You may want to get in touch with the guys at the Hot and Spicy forums. Yeah, earlier this year I hurt my back pretty badly, and that was not fun. So I'm still kind of recovering from it. So I've got physical therapy and things like that. It's not super enjoyable. Alright, let's get our R-type plasma torpedo zooming out towards him, see if we can't cause him to stop. He's back in 2 Rs and he launched. I screwed this one up, because that's going to get within range. We're going to pull directly away. I'm going to actually free you guys up, engage at will. That way you can zip in on top of them. It's been quite a few months, but we're working on it. We're going to just have to drag out this torpedo as much as we can. In fact, I'm going to go phasers, overload, shoot it! Seriously? Point defense phasers, weaken that. Okay, good. It was pretty much nothing by the end of it. So let's continue to fire at this WVL, who's dead. The Romai Palma did actually manage to kill a P2R. So we do have the Emanus. The Emanus was not able to charge both of his plasma R torpedoes. That's really surprising to me. I'm going to pull him back into formation then if that's the case. I thought that he was going to be still deadly, but he's not at all. And who's our last friend? Wait, no, so who's dead? Oh, it must have been a pseudo-frigate. Yeah, that's always a big and interesting problem. Alright, so we do have him to deal with. He is traveling at a speed of 6 now increasing to 7. So let's kick on a tractor beam, see if we can't grab him with it. We do still have all of our heavy weapons, so if we can use that, we can probably bomb him quite heavily. Come to F1, set a bomb, let it pop, all weapons, and of course it resets. We don't know why it does that, but it does, and it's getting a little bit frustrating. He dumps a mine. It's not going to be a nuclear space mine, and in fact we might actually be able to even use it. Let's see if we can. Hi, you're mine. And all weapons into you. So we're just going to hang on to him. We're going to chill out here for a while. Oh, I can't have my phasers on overload if I got them set to this. So shut that off. Phasers to overload. Thank you. And we'll just keep blasting away. Imagine if our live streams had full fleets of players versus the AI in each battle. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy at that point. Are X-ships in the base game, or is that part of the Orion Pirates? So Orion Pirates does have the X-ships as base. Orion Pirates Plus then adds the rest of the fleet. And the forward shield has collapsed, but I'm more than willing to trade that for a dreadnought. So yeah, if you get just the normal Starfleet Command 2 Orion Pirates, it will have the entire X series of ships. Well, not... most of the X series of ships. But then when you pick Orion Pirates Plus, it fills in the rest of the tech tree. Like, there's literally thousands of ships in this game. There's 3,000 objects in the ship list, like 3,000 lines, and each one has like 144 properties. It's crazy. What the base game had, the mod expanded on hugely, and it's incredibly remarkable to me. So let's get a couple of missiles on this P2R. He's already pretty badly damaged. He's got no shuttle bay. He's got no phasers. He does have 2 point defense missiles. That does work for him. Proximities. Oh, we mistimed it just slightly and only managed to hit 1. Not even sitting on an attack ship, so you guys had a 50%, better than 50% chance, and you still managed to only hit 1 out of 3. Yeah, we could probably do an event like that where we get a couple of us on and we actually run larger fleets. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I just need to spend some time figuring out when to have the time. This phaser pass is going to kill you. You're gone. Okay, last guy. It is the FSP. He is packing a single R-type plasma torpedo in a light cruiser hull. Because the Romulans, well, there's no kill like overkill. Let's see how much power I need to shed in order to charge things. 1.5, 0.5, okay. We're going to sit here for a little while we charge up our R-type plasma torpedo. We do need the additional damage. Otherwise, we're just not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot. And besides, the FSP is sitting in cloak anyway. The Romai Palma has taken a hit, it looks like, but he's doing mostly alright. He has 3 of his 4 plasma torpedoes charged, although unlike most Hawk cruisers, especially ones we end up fighting, he's only got a pair of S's as well as a pair of F's, which normally they upgun those to R's pretty gosh darn quickly. Okay, we have all kinds of spare power. Let's go and actually reinforce that forward shield so we're not getting ourselves as badly hurt. And it does look like we got some photon torpedoes on target. That's pretty nice. Let's charge up another strength tractor beam. In case he comes out of cloak. Oh, he's not even... he's never going to come out of cloak. He's never going to come out of cloak because he's traveling too fast and not charging his R-type plasma torpedo. So we're going to have to bomb him out of cloak continuously. It's going to be slightly annoying, but we'll manage it. Unless, of course, you're about to call me a liar, but I don't think you will. Because if I remember you right, you always hang in cloak. I put a bomb right there. I'm in range. Hi, I've got you. Hurt ourselves a little bit with being too close. Shocked a lot of systems, actually. No actual... Well, we did lose a phaser, okay. And here he comes out of cloak, and he's going to shoot down my super weakened shield at this point. We'll see if we can't get our other shield up as a defense. And he could break away, but he hasn't yet. I do feel kind of sorry for him. Not really. I do not like having to fight Romulans who just hide. Alright, great alert, we're done. Take aim at the listening post. Now we gotta zip all of our ships off the map again. Full speed time. And we'll zip on through. But yeah, I'll have to try and see if I can't make a little bit of time in order to try and get something like that going. Although, before that happens, I do need to finish my top 8 battleships. I've got it recorded. I've got it all recorded and all finished up there. I just need to record video to put over the vocal recording of the top 8 list. So, as soon as that's out, I'll have a little bit more leeway, I suppose, in order to try and say that, yeah, let's start putting together things like a Discord and whole fleet battles. Okay, reading the data off the listening post. And more ships reading the data because they're now coming into range. Where's the edge of that map? There it is. And we'll just zip on out of here. Oh, I thought you meant, Sean, that the fleet would be player versus player, not player versus AI. That would be cruel and unusual punishment to a computer. But then again, I suppose right now you wouldn't mind that so much. Alright, we are zooming out of here. Hopefully this will bring the cartel defense down a little bit faster. Knocking out this planet has just... This entire star cluster has been just ridiculous with the amount of defenses it has.
Prepare for battle.
Oh, you're going to warp? Are you all going to warp? Oh, wow, they all went to warp. Miracles upon miracles have occurred. Alright, so that'll be a nice little mission finished on there. How much are you going to reward us for such a thing? After all, we did kill everybody there. There was an entire dreadnought. We annihilated it. It actually took some damage. 350 prestige? Yeah, that's not terrible. Not great, but it's not terrible. Cartel defense didn't budge. Of course not. Go over here. It's a monster mission. I don't need money. I mean, that's an interesting position to be in, but we do not need cash. We are sitting on 9,527, and that was after we bought these 2 destroyers. Although, to be fair, it's not as bad as our cash reserves right now in the Marak campaign for the normal campaign. We're at, what, 26,000 prestige in that campaign? Because we already have the best ship in the game, and we kind of don't want to expand into more vessels. Although, I'm getting tempted on occasion to just try it. To go with 3 advanced bombardment cruisers and just do 1 Titanic salvo. Although I wonder if the game would be able to handle it. I assume so, but... Still, that would be a lot of missiles if I could get entire planet-busting salvos out. Alrighty, so everybody is topped and ready to rock, so we'll hop back over here to continue to bombard the crap out of it. It's a convoy raid. This is more or less our job. A wall of missiles, yes, indeed. See, it's 132 times 3, or 36 times 3. Oh, we have a Romulan X-type vessel on our own side. Hello, Ungwi. The Ungwi has What kind are you? You are just the normal, or are you the fast? I think you might be a fast. Nope, it's a normal. Interesting. So, this is one of the reasons why the Romulan X-Type Heavy Cruiser is terrible. Just, it is the worst of all the X-Type Heavy Cruisers. And in fact, if I ever do the top 10 X-Type or the top 8 XCAs, this will no doubt be on the bottom of the list. Oh, no R-type plasma torpedoes. It's got a lot of plasma. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's 2, 4, 6. Okay, it doesn't have a whole ton of plasma. It's only got 6 plasma F torpedo equivalents in terms of outright damage. God, it's such a disappointing ship. At some point, I'm going to have to punish myself when we do a Romulan campaign and actually use X-Type Heavy Cruisers. Romulan ally versus Romulans? Well, we bribed them. But yes, Shinzon and his Remans versus the Romulans. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe we're working with the Romulans against the Remans? Or maybe Romulus is blown up in this universe just like it did in the current universe. Okay, we got freighters all around, but no actual defenses. Really? So this is just going to be a cakewalk? Are you serious? I refuse to believe such a thing. Because we've got an X-Type Heavy Cruiser, we've got an OPT, which granted is not anything special, but we've got an X-Type Heavy Cruiser, 2 X-Type Destroyers. Granted, they're pirates, but they're still X-Type Destroyers, as well as our own Heavy Cruiser. And I don't see a single non-freighter contact. The PT-3 legitimately is the defensive vessel, and we might kill him with long-range firepower. Let's find out. Well, we got him pretty... He has no weapons. Does that count as a kill? Let's see if... Wow, really? Seriously, Ungwi, there was no reason to do that. His vessel at full health wouldn't have been able to survive half that firepower. Alright, so I guess I'm just going to free them up from formation. Just go destroy, kill, murder. And we'll go maximum speed of time. As we're just going to soar on in here and just annihilate these guys with phasers. If we fire guided weapons, they'll just defend themselves in ways that are difficult to deal with. Next. Oh, you're an FSML. And we're fully charged on that. Oh wow, you just had a really bad day. And the FTX, which is probably the most defended of all of the ships, because he actually has a missile launcher, unlike the other ones who only had a couple of phasers. I'm surprised you haven't wild weaseled, although perhaps you were waiting for that. Nope, you're just dead. Easiest convoy raid ever. No, seriously, I don't think I've ever had an easier convoy raid. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. Although if this doesn't affect the cartel value, then it doesn't really matter. 164 prestige, that's a heck of a lot more than what we really deserve. Yeah, it didn't change it. I don't know what causes this, but eventually we will stumble upon a mission which will trigger us being able to actually take territory. Maybe MET-10 Patrol will give us what we need. This is probably the one thing that really draws out a pirate campaign, is the fact that you don't reliably reduce the Empire or cartel control of a place with missions. It seems to be very random at times. So let's get ourselves fully kitted for an actual combat, just in case. You never know what you might actually run into. Although we are being escorted today by the Lunis Duo, which is an SPEX. He has an R-type plasma torpedo and 2 S-types. If I'm not mistaken, also, you're a light cruiser, which is kind of ridiculous. Also, the SPA Super Buyer, who is the same thing. You're an X-type upgrade, and you are not quite as X-y, because you've got a couple of phaser 3s. I see. Squaring off against this is a freighter and a freighter. Lovely. Maximum speed of time, then. We're just going to go in and kill everybody. I would send a probe, but or at least our pirate ship doesn't have a probe. Which, again, I keep saying, but I believe it's a bug. It's something that should be resolved, and I haven't done it. Although it's a lot of ships to change. Although I have been told that I can code it and do things more easily if I form my own program to automatically fix that for me. Photon torpedoes going out, not actually managing to nail anything. We'll get nice and close with the heavy phasers, and you're gone. Next target, please. Did they think they were safe here or something? Like, seriously, what is up with this? I suppose I shouldn't complain too much. I mean, after all, who really wants to face 4 dreadnoughts in a row? But that was too easy. Mission complete, and yeah, we were not needed. Heck, they weren't needed. Probably could have sent a single one of my destroyers to take that. Honestly, I probably would have taken that mission in one of those pseudo-frigates. I could probably do it. I feel that cocky. I could definitely take that on in just a pseudo-frigate. 49 still. Ugh. Dealing with it is the pain. Of course, at a diplomatic delivery, we now must move a mob boss from one planet to another. Shouldn't be all that difficult, as it rarely is. Who do we got? Well, it is the next type heavy cruiser, so there is that working against us, but we did bring a KEX, which is a what now? Oh, it's a King Eagle X upgrade. It hacks a single R and 2 Gs in addition to its Phaser X armament. And this is an advanced bombardment cruiser, which I do believe has 3 R-type plasma torpedoes. Though we probably will actually need the Wild Weasel on this one. Let's get a forward shield reinforcement and a little bit of additionals in the electronic countermeasures. All right, so cruising on the way. Keep it nice and slow while we actually prepare our weapon systems. Although he outguns me pretty badly. Actually, it's moderately to severely concerning. And energy screen, please, so I can tell exactly how much power I have to steal. Shuttle is prepared. We're at full power now. And we really don't have much of a solution for you. Okay, so the trick will be to fire at a range before he's going to shoot back at us, and to trick him into wild weaseling, and hopefully not hurting us. 25. Yeah, that'll be it. We'll pull off. All the photon torpedoes missing, although he is sitting at a very high ECM value. More speed, more power. Yep. Alright, if you're going to do that, then that's perfectly fine. I'll just burn away from you. He fired from well outside. Are X-ships only available in the late era? X-ships are available in the advanced era, which is one era beyond the late era. So, you get to really play with a lot of fun things. Although, there is a slight problem, gameplay-wise, that I find when you get into this era. What is the next thing to look forward to? Because for our Let's Play, because I'm assuming you're new, but maybe not. Maybe you're very experienced with this channel, but we start in the early era every single time. Because when you start in the early era, you then move through every single other era and steadily advance your vessels throughout the ages. And that's a lot of fun to me. But once you're in the late era, you're never going to see different sorts of ships other than the already rather impressive array of vessels you'll already notice. So kind of, what do you have to look forward to? It's actually a problem we're having in the Morag campaign, because we're already in the advanced bombardment cruiser. There is nothing better than that ship. There will never be a vessel better than that ship. What are we saving our prestige for? I'm sitting on 26,000 prestige in that campaign with nothing to spend it on. So that's the reason why we structure our seasons as we do. Each season will take one empire to completely destroy another empire, because normally that takes about one tech era worth. So it normally takes, going from early to advanced, one period in order to actually take on the entirety of an empire. It's just that for the Morag campaign, we had a long trip to make it down to Romulan space, and so that really stretched things out. Oh, we managed to knock out his tractor beam in a pretty decent fashion. Also, he's going slow enough that those missiles should all impact, and shattered. Alright, enemy defeated. Let's go green alert. Check to see what actually got broken. The engines apparently took a hit, and we'll zip on out of here. Although with that said, X-type ships are a lot of fun. Because when you first get them, the enemy doesn't have them. Normally. Sometimes they do and you don't, but normally it's you who gets them first. And when you're taking an X-type heavy cruiser against just a normal heavy cruiser, even with a small X upgrade, there just isn't much of a contest, because your energy generation, your shield generation, your weapons mix is just so much greater than anything they can bring to bear. And then they get all their X-type ships, and suddenly it becomes an interesting game of who has the better ship. And generally it's you, because also you're, human and not an AI, and therefore better than they are. But it can be very interesting at times. Now let's slow down and stop. Hopefully we don't smash into the planet. Send over Mr. Mob Boss. And the diplomats on the planet. We can cruise on out of here. Back down to a normal speed of time, so it'll refresh on the next map perfectly fine. Now let's see what we get. So what, 350? 400? No. 270? I'm trying to remember how much prestige. It's worth 280. That seems low to me. We'll bounce right back over here. We didn't take too much damage. Yeah, the Sabertooth, who apparently is the bad luck child of the group, did take a little bit of a denting, but we should be fine. As long as we don't run into 5 King Condors, we should be great. Alright, nothing on scanners just yet, and we have no friends aside from our own little buddies, which we bought and paid for. So let's get ourselves rigged. Full on rigging for combat. All the weapon systems, all the defensive systems, and of course lots and lots of charging. While I do approve of any ship that has an R-type plasma torpedo, the weapon mix does mean that it takes a little while to get things going. Although, to be fair, it's pretty damaging and it never runs out of ammo. Okay, another frigate. Really? We just getting all the milk runs today. Can't complain, I really shouldn't, because, well, when we run into something hard, it gets really tough. But still. We also got our random Orion freighter who decided to actually show up. Alright, Mr. Frigate, I'm here to kill you. You're not going to get away. We're going to do it like this. Eat that. We're going to turn away. You fired your plasma torpedoes, but your plasma torpedoes are incredibly short-ranged. We're going to just come right in on you, and you will not be able to save yourself. Hi. There we go. Destroyed. On to the light cruiser, who doesn't appear to be too dangerous. Maybe. But we haven't seen any of his weapons, although, does he remind anybody else of the Defiant a little bit in that angle? Just a little bit. The phase is going out, doing a little bit of damage. He is doing a speed of 24, which does mean that those missiles shouldn't catch up unless he continues on a nice tight turn, because those missiles can outturn him without any problem. Yeah, Phaser X's just really grind somebody down. Although, thinking of that being the Defiant, I really kind of do want to play a TNG mod on this. Just because it would be interesting. And there are ways of swapping out models for that, and I just haven't taken the time to do it. I also don't think I've taken the time to find a TNG map, or ship set. Because the original models in this game are very terrible. And a lot of the models that I've seen people use to sort of bring into the game are also not tremendously great. There is a big pack for all the Armada 2 ships, which are fine from a long-range tactical perspective, but when you're up close and personal on them, they start looking pretty ugly really quick. So we would have to find semi-decent models without, of course, breaking any laws. Another MT-10 patrol. Are they actually going to send any force against us, or is it going to be all freighters again? That is the question we have. Guys, don't go engine overload. That would just be dangerous and stupid. So of course they do it. Get ourselves to an overload on the phasers because we're going to cause some damage. We got a KEX with us again. It is the super buyer once more. And it's a freighter. Another bloody freighter. It's too bad there's no Starfleet Command 4 on the horizon. It really is. And also I'd wonder who would make it and who owns the rights to it. Because I really can't think of a company that I would kind of trust with it. This is a really... This is not the sort of game that is super easy Call of Duty style. And I'm just trying to think of who would make it. Although, I suppose there is a pretty decent number of indie game developers and sort of smaller end studios who really have started going more for that sort of thing. I'm thinking initially of the guys who did Battlestar Galactica Deadlock and Harebrained Schemes who does Battletech. Because as much as I don't really enjoy Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, it was made quite well, and it is a good game. I mean, the fact that Sprogue's always trying to get me to play it is kind of nice. What was the most recent Star Trek game? Star Trek Online. There was also a Star Trek Starfleet Command, but not Starfleet Command, that I keep getting like ads for and stuff. It's like a mobile game, it looks like, which is an interesting confusion of the issue, let me tell you. Suddenly found out on my search results that I was all the way at the bottom because there was this new game out. But yeah, the most recent one I believe was a mobile port. Then there's also Star Trek Legacy, which came out relatively well, I say relatively. Star Trek Legacy was probably, what, 10 years ago at this point? Don't be mean about it. I mean, people do enjoy mobile games. You can't take that away from them. It's nice to have a game that you can play on the go, but it's really not what I'm looking for in a game. Oh yeah, Bridge Crew. I've never played Bridge Crew because I didn't have VR, and by the time it was no longer VR playable, a lot of the shine had worn off from people. I have my friends in VR, I don't. We all often equally TOS, TNG, and Calvin. Yeah, I've thought about Bridge Crew. I would want to play it in VR just because I see how much fun it is, but like I had mentioned, most of my friends were not super keen on it by the time it happened. Bridge Commander was also huge. Starfleet Command is just Starfleet battles with bookkeeping run by a CPU. It's not quite. There are some there's a lot of simplifications actually between the two. So I for Christmas was actually gifted a copy of Starfleet Battles, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And again, thank you to my brother who managed to dig it up and find me the Captain's Starter Pack, which is quite cool. And I've been slowly learning my way through that manual and looking things into it. Starfleet Command handles, all the bookkeeping, as you said, but also there's a lot of simplification. There's a lot of things that I just don't have to bother with, because it's like, does anybody care if this specific system is powered? No? Okay, ignore it. So there is simplification. Now, to be fair, I would prefer it if it were more complex. There's a lot of systems in Starfleet Battles that I kind of wish were brought over, one of which is things like the differences between drones. I wish that more of that had come over than just there are missiles and there are probes. And of the missiles, you only get 2 types. But also, it travels in real time. So there is that. Oh, we have you over here. So we're going to have to fight. I believe you're the super buyer. You're my friend, aren't you? You're the person that we were operating with for so long. So we're going to have to murder you. Did you come in a cloak? You did? Really? Okay, fire the pseudo-torpedo and get ourselves up to speed. We'll break away. Nice and easily. Yeah, I don't think Starfleet Command needs a whole heck of a lot more than what we've already got for the vast majority of things. Because, how do I put this? We have all the capability we're probably ever going to get. So unless the Starfleet Command 4 comes out that completely overhauls things, we don't really need much more. But what we really need is we need like talented mod makers who will come out and make more ship models. That's the thing we really need right now. Because that's doable, that's rather immediate, and well, frankly, I'm really comfortable with playing Orion Pirates at this point, so I wouldn't want to have to learn a whole new system. But I'm just sort of waffling at this point. Not really thinking 100% clearly, if I'm completely honest. And managed to badly maul him. Doing quite... Don't get in front of the guy with the R-type plasma torpedo. Generally is a bad idea. And that's a high energy turn. I assume he's saving it for me. Oh, wow. You're just having a really bad day, aren't you? Pop out a couple more missiles. Who made bridge crew? No idea. Ow, what the hell happened to you, Sabretooth? Have you not been defending yourself properly? Sabretooth has just been a bad luck ship since the beginning. He's getting as badly mauled as our dragon normally does. Get right up on top of him and just nail him with all the overloaded phasers. That'll do no more than enough damage to mostly take him out of the fight. We should have him done by the time the OCR gets here. Oh, hi, I forgot I had this tracker beam available. That worked. That definitely worked. One of Ubisoft Studios made? Read something? Yeah, let's check as we slowly curl in on this. Bridge Crew. Starter Bridge Crew is made by publisher Ubisoft. Developers was Red Storm Entertainment, which sounds very familiar to me. What did they do? Just give me a wiki list. Oh, they're the ones who do all of the Tom Clancy games. Of which they haven't been very good lately. Although, there have been a few ones. So, let's kick on the tractor beam because we got another cloak hopper to deal with. We're just going to hold on to him and drag him out of cloak, kicking and screaming if need be. Miss from a pseudo-photon torpedo. That would be an interesting concept. Drop a mine. Hopefully it'll set him off. Yep. Oh, you decided to decloak. Probably not your worst decision ever. Although we'll just hold on to you for a little while. Keep nailing you as hard as we can. Someone could try and get permission from CBS? Yeah. Fat chance of that happening. We have to all remember what kind of company CBS is. Do you really think that they would hand out the ability to make the Star Trek license using the television properties for anything? Of course not. They would never do it. Although technically Starfleet Battles is not the same thing as Star Trek. There are differences. But yeah, well, Ubisoft did. Well, that Ubisoft did that back in 2000. Oh, you mean Ubisoft made Bridge Crew? I suppose. I get what you're saying, I just don't think it's likely. Although why I don't think it's likely, I'm not really sure. Again, cartel defense down to 39. We are making a difference for once. I just don't think it would be likely that CBS would want to do it with Starfleet battles. Because, I mean, Steven is right. Starfleet Command is most of Starfleet battles. So you'd want to have to get permission from CBS to do it. And I don't think they would. You'd need to get permission from the guys who made Starfleet battles, and from what I can recall, I don't think you'd get them to be happy about it either. And then you would have to find a studio who would want to make a fairly niche tabletop strategy game in the modern day. It seems like such a tall order to me, but maybe that's just a defeatist attitude for me, and I should be much more positive. I'd like to see it. I would. If we could get a Starfleet Command 4 with updated models, not more slick UI, but a better resolution control, because, I mean, look at this huge black area that we're dealing with. I'd love to see it. I just don't know if it ever would happen. And I just don't think it would. But I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. I mean, I never thought that harebrained schemes would actually be able to bring Battletech to fruition. I thought for sure that Harmony Gold would destroy that, and they tried. Lord knows Harmony Gold did try. So, who we got here as our buddy here? We have the Avis Claris, who is a completely worthless freighter that we won't have to worry about ever again. And we will charge on forward. Where is the enemy? There they are. It's a KRCS, which is a Klingon Romulan heavy cruiser. Shouldn't be too much trouble to nail. Start firing from maximum range. Although all the Klingon ships generally do have D-type plasma torpedoes. Harmony Gold smack down in court? Yup. Harmony Gold may have wound up in a worse position than when they started. I do not think the lawsuit went anywhere near the way they thought it was. Which, by the way, the Marauder 2, not the Marauder 2C, but the Marauder 2 battle mech is coming to MechWarrior Online, which will be quite interesting to see. Because it was another one of those designs that Harmony Gold was like, no, you don't get to use. And now we will. Also, I think their control of the Battletech license ends in like 2-3 years anyway. So even their claims for having any sort of control or stake in things is gone. We still have pseudo frigates to deal with, so let's actually deal with them. You. And you. Oh, long-range plasma torpedo fire. Plasma Fs, they're at the absolute maximum of their range, but it is pushing me away from this D7. Which is actually very unfortunate, because I need to get in there close enough and soon enough to be able to actually knock him down. Mainly to grab onto him to prevent him from cloaking. So let's see if we can't cruise right on in here. Hi, I'm your bestest buddy now. And... oh, it actually worked! The tractor beam did not fail us. Wonderful. So a decent amount of damage getting done out there. Come on, missiles away. I am far enough away from missiles. Missiles away. Well, he did manage to break free, but that's not gonna keep him alive for much longer. Whenever MechWarrior 5 comes out, will you get it? Okay, so MechWarrior 5 is coming out supposedly September 19th of this year. In fact, they've got pre-orders up for it now, which, by the way, I have always ascribed to the House of Biscuit on this one. We do not pre-order, but I don't blame anyone for doing that. If it comes out, there is one major thing that I'm very concerned about, and that was there was an interview back in 2016, and maybe this interview is obsolete, but me and my friends were actually talking about it. There was an interview back in 2016 on PC Gamer where they said that they were looking into not implementing the mech lab because they wanted mechs to feel different, and they wanted different chassis to feel like different mechs and have different feels to them, so that it was more, how do I even put this? I don't quite remember the exact wording, but it was so more varied gameplay, because they said that the mech lab would lead to all the mechs feeling mostly the same. Which I thought was the dumbest thing I had ever read, and I probably won't get it if they don't include the mech lab. If they do include the mech lab, yeah, hell yeah, I'll be probably, if it turns out to be an okay game, like if the reviews come back and say, yeah, this is fine and it's better than MechWarrior Online, I'll get it and I'll play multiplayer with my friends on it, and we'll do a little, we'll do a co-op campaign. But if it doesn't have the mech lab, I probably wouldn't get involved. Because it's MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, right? How do you run a MechWarrior 5's mercenary game without giving you the ability to modify based on the stuff that you stole, bought, or found? It just seems so counterintuitive that you would ever take that position, and yet that's the position they took in the interview. Now maybe, and they did say that none of that was set in stone, and that it was subject to change, and that interview is from 2 years ago. So maybe that's completely changed, and I hope it has. But if there's no mech lab, there's no purchase for me. If there is a mech lab, well, I'm looking forward to it so far. It looks pretty good. It's not the most amazing thing ever, but it's pretty gosh darn good. And I would definitely look forward to being able to do a co-op campaign with my friends. Especially because they seem to indicate that there's going to be modding in it. So, because one of the pre-order perks is early access to the modder center. So, I don't know what that would be, or how that would work. But it certainly has me interested whenever a company says that they're going to support modding. Because modding is one of the things that keeps a game alive. Modding is what keeps this game alive. Like, if I did not have all the mods that we have now for this game, I probably wouldn't have started doing the channel. In fact, I know I wouldn't have started doing the channel. Because the thing that kicked it off and made it say that I was going to record it and start doing a series on YouTube was the fact that I was having so much fun with Orion Pirates Plus. So, this game is 18 years old, 19 years old at this point. And the reason why it's still going and it's still fresh is because modders. The higher resolution is because of modders. The augmented ships is because of modders. The more increased ship lists is because of modders. And it keeps things fresh and interesting. And it is, well, the reason why this channel is here. I think they'll be more interested in playing that than Rogue Tech. I like the idea of being in a mech. Yep. Yeah, MechWarrior has always been there to sort of scratch that itch of being the pilot and not the commander. And I started my experience in the Battletech universe was with MechWarrior. It was MechWarrior 2. That was the first time I ever played any sort of MechWarrior. And one of the things I will always remember about that game is when I was a kid, the soundtrack for that game would scare me to just ridiculous levels. I was terrified of the soundtrack to that game. And I don't know why, because now I listen to it, and the MechWarrior 2 soundtrack is probably the best of the MechWarrior soundtracks. But when I was a kid, just absolutely got frightened to death by that thing. It was actually pretty hilarious. And then I played MechWarrior 2 on a PlayStation game. Yep. Yes, it was. And then when I got older, MechWarrior 3 was huge. I played that all the time. I actually got that as part of my school's computer club, and we would all play it together. So MechWarrior is pretty big for me. And then I started getting into other things like Battletech and the like, and yeah. It's been it's a fun little franchise. Little, I don't think you can really describe it as being little. Alrighty. Now that I've been rambling on for the past several minutes and scared away about 2-3 people who are watching the stream. Alright, let's kick things up. We're currently facing off a single EL, which I do believe will actually have plasma torpedoes equipped. And then we've got, well, we actually have a pretty significant amount of forces here. Luckily, we brought the Romulan K-10R and they didn't. So, yeah, we've got that pretty much handled. Oh, they also brought their own dreadnought. Okay, that's a bit of a problem. Okay, we're going to slow down the speed of time to normal people's speed of time because, well, war is about to be on. This light cruiser will have D-type plasma torpedoes. This one may. What kind are you? You're an SPX, the GS. Does the SPX have it? I don't think they do. And we're lucky they won't. And back here, the Praxis, are you? No, you're a KVL. He won't. He'll have 2 R-type plasma torpedoes and nothing else. Although pseudo-frigates are also a thing that we may have to concern ourselves. I think this does have 2 Fs, but I'm not sure. And as long as we keep away from him, he's got a maximum speed of like 10. Oh, no, 16 apparently. So we shouldn't have to worry about him too much. Let's get over here and kick on the electronic countermeasure. Get our defenses going on that one. Plasma torpedoes from the Klingon. It's actually R-type plasma torpedoes, which is pretty significantly bad. KVL's up on fire. Okay, we got a whole bunch of interceptors back here. Or maybe just 2. Missile 1. Missile 2. Okay, that's him dealt with. And the group has fired and gone to cloak. And the Morte, which is our gigantic Klingon K-10 battleship with tons of plasma torpedoes, gets to fire his group. Okay, we're losing a couple of pseudo-frigates, and that's not good, but we're about to take care of his as well. I don't want to engage with photon torpedoes from this range. I really, really do not. Get our tractor beam engaged. And the reason why we're going to do this is we're going to drop a mine right in front of the super buyer, pass on top of him, blow him up, and get ready for it. Hopefully it will actually activate in time. We're going to grab somebody. Pop, pop, pop. There we go. You're mine. Alright, let's start laying into probably the biggest threat on the battlefield right now. Our anti-plasma torpedo is away. As long as we can hold on to him, we can just keep him here, stuck with us, and he ain't going nowhere. Laying into his stern as well, which is all his power generation. Just keep up the fire. Steady hits, that's all we need. Knocked out most of his aft firing weaponry. He's trying to spread the damage off as many shields as he can. Alright, we're going to give that a shot. He's probably going to break away. I hope not, but we've got a chance to do a lot of damage to him in very short order. I'm actually really surprised he hasn't already opened fire. Oh, hi. You're pretty dangerous. Maybe not, but hopefully... Okay, got through again. He's still getting damage reduction, it looks like, from his being in cloak, even though we've held on to him. More missiles going out in the Fen today. That should deal with him, unless he's got more tractor beams. We're going to probably have stripped away the... Oh, super buyer's coming out of the cloak. His plasma torpedoes are about to be ready, which means we should probably let go of him soon. Yeah, we don't want to be in front of him. Although, now that we've reset our position, we should be just fine. Lay into his stern. More power damage. Oh, he wild weaseled that one. I probably wouldn't have wild weaseled for just 2 missiles, but okay. You are free to make your own choices on that one. I'm just going to get right here and continue to lay into him. Hopefully we can do enough damage to his power generation that he can't build anything. Alright, we're going to hold on to him again, just in case. Prevent him from cloaking, because he really needs to cloak. Nope, he's dead. Who's our next target? So the Fen today is dead. He didn't have anything. Our destroyers were able to annihilate him. We have managed to take out the dreadnought, which just leaves the Gigas. How is our K-10 doing? Well, the Morte is just fine. He's managed to repair his damage and fix most of his shield. Wonderful. So we brought the bigger dreadnought, and we get to win because of it. We need to have another plan to deal with him, and that plan is going to be the same plan as the old plan, which is to drop mines on him and tractor beam him. Because unfortunately, we don't really have many other ways of actually dealing with a cloaked opponent. Although I wish there was. Alright, how long until that tractor beam is ready? It's ready, so get ourselves within range. And drop the mine right there. And the tractor beam shut off. So we're going to have to do that again, which unfortunately risks quite a bit. Because there's always the chance that it blows up on us and goes through our downed shield. Which I think this one... Oh, no, he was coming out of cloak when we grabbed him, so... Alright, hit him. Hit him with all the things. Fix the engines on that one. And as long as we just hold him here... Ow, this is gonna hurt. Okay, our shield's held, much to my surprise, and the game has crashed. Bit unfortunate there. So, let's remake the game. And see what's going on, see if we can recover a little bit. As unfortunately for us, once we start playing for more than an hour, it starts to get a little bit unsteady. Alright, autosave. Where'd you leave us? Please tell me that we didn't lose any progress actually attacking this planet. Because of that would be irritating. 30 damage, we got some missiles. The sound... so I think we know what makes the sound go robotic. Stand by. Test, test. Okay, how's that? Are we working good again? Do things appear to be audible once more, in a proper way? Quickly check over here. Alrighty, good. So it looks like whenever the game crashes, the mic starts going nuts. Although it has done that in the past before when we're playing... what's... Battletech. So I'm not 100% sure what causes that. But at least we have a 100% way of how to fix it, even though it just takes a couple of seconds. Now let's pop out on another patrol and get things done. We have a little bit of a task ahead of us to fully take this planet. This planet which prevents us from doing all the fun things. Hi, they got a bigger dreadnought this time. I'm going to kind of say that's not fair, but then again, sometimes these things have gone very much in our favor. So if they upgrade their KVL to a K9, I suppose I shouldn't complain too much. Even though, come on game, that's a bit of a step up. He should... No, K9s do not have D-type plasma torpedoes. That much we know from our Marat campaign. It's not until the K10 series that they do. And then, of course, the King Condor, which is just amazing in every single way. Also, he brought a Firehawk. What kind of Firehawk? We're dealing with a Firehawk P. As well as a KRP. Maybe those are Maulers, and we'll have a really hilarious time with things. We actually got 2 Firehawks. Both of them are FHPs and KRPs. I'd love to send a probe, but I don't have the ability to do it. So we're going to focus on the Dreadnought, because that's exactly what pirate heavy cruisers are supposed to do, is focus on enemy frontline Dreadnoughts. I get the feeling that sometimes we may be a bit suicidal in this game. But let's kick on the forward shield reinforcement. Hi, guys. Yes, thank you for focusing on the correct target. Occasionally they get a little bit confused and decide that they need to fire everything they've got into a freighter. And that's not particularly helpful here. Unfortunately, they have more plasma ships than we do. And the #1 rule in a plasma fight is whoever brought more plasma wins the plasma. So this ought to be interesting. Oh, and he's cloaking as well. K9s don't have pseudo frigates, so I wonder what he's doing with that one. He's going under cloak again. Guys, there was no reason to do that. Although, that could be helpful. No hits from either of the heavy photon torpedo launchers, so unfortunately it's going to rely on us once again to do all the main damages. More speed, more power, and a tractor beam, of course. Start working on that. Hopefully he will be afraid of this, although he is a dreadnought, so what is a dreadnought? Yep. Of course he would do that. Hi, I'm a bit closer than you. Oh, you are all Maulers. Every single one of these is a Mauler. That's going to be moderately hilarious and incredibly dangerous, and I'm coming in too close. I am coming in too close on too many plasma torpedoes. I'm starting to think maybe we should run. Yeah, because this is going to get ugly really fast. So we've lost aft shields, and we have Romulans behind us. We do have a cloaking device, though. Do I want to use it? I mean, there's no reason not to. But this is a little bit more than what we're signed up for. I think bailing out might be in order. Let's get our systems repaired. Oh wow, all the pseudo frigates have decided to go for us. Seriously? That explains so much of why so many plasma torpedoes have been heading our way. Okay, we've lost most of our shields at this point. Yeah, we're pulling out of here. Goodbye. We will provide long-range fire support, and you all can figure out what you're doing some other time. Fire everything. And he's gonna crash stop, and he'll make it in time. Oh, I'm holding on to one. Let him go. He doesn't need to be with us. Yeah, it's time to go. Yes, indeed. We're just gonna burn out of here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to drag these guys out. Although, the Shrike is incredibly vulnerable right now. Let's turn in. Get some repairs going. As long as we're not in the middle of the group, we're more or less okay. And if we can deal with the K9 a bit, we should be even better. Are you shooting? Oh no, it's the Shrike that's doing it. Making himself just a bloody nuisance. Okay. Wait, they're both called the Shrike? Really? Well, sometimes game. And his phasers to overload. We're gonna just give a nice one there. Alright, so we've taken out 2 of the 6 ships? 2 of the 5 ships? I forget how many ships we're dealing with. And at the end of the day, we still have 2 X-type heavy cruiser or X-type destroyers to deal with. So that's going for us. We don't have the R-type plasma torpedo working yet, but the pseudo frigates are down. We still have pseudo frigates and they don't. You're not a Mauler. That surprises me. I thought you were, but you're not particularly dangerous as far as Romulan heavy cruisers go in this era, so I'm not super worried about you. I'm gonna see, maybe I should try and capture you. Fix that X-type. I need that operating again. Capture 7. Only 7, really? You don't say. Transporters were not ready. We've got 3 over there that should help deal with his Marines. I think we have a decent chance of coming out of this one. Depends on how long the K-10 lasts, but you know what? The K-10 has just killed his opposite Klingonian number. So K-9 is down. Yeah, radar, we didn't need to leave at all. It was just a little bit dangerous when we were in the middle of the whole group. So we're down to just the Firehawk and the K whatever P. And what are you? You're an ally, so we don't have to worry about you. I think we're doing just fine. That's what happens when you bring dreadnoughts to the table and they don't. Well, okay, they did bring a dreadnought, but we brought a better dreadnought. It did look crazy there for a couple of seconds. I was very much thinking I needed to pull out, and then I got a good look at the rest of the situation. It was like, well, maybe not. And hey, maybe not worked. Now, granted, it is going to cost a decent amount to repair everything after this, but still, I'm on board. We're winning. Holy crap, how are we winning? I don't know how that works, but I'm going to focus on the next guy then. Please don't kill him. Focus on my target, please. With any luck, we'll steal that Firehawk. We were winning the ground battle. I don't know how we were winning the ground battle, but we did. He had 5 and we had 3 there, and we still beat him. Now, granted, we were pounding him into dust, more or less, but still. You're in cloak, so I can't just run you over, as was my initial plan. I have to try and get you out of cloak. Drop a mine, start to turn as much as we can. Tractor beam is ready to go, so as soon as he pops, hi, we've got you. Yeah, we had to hurt ourselves a little bit to do it, but totally worth it. Let's slow all the way down as well, so that we just get all that free power back so we can nail it into somebody. See, that's the real secret advantage to having someone in a tractor beam, is you get to stop. Because you don't need to maneuver for position anymore. Your position is locked. And now all of your power can power all the other things. Come on, finish taking him. There we go, we got him. And how... don't do that. Guys, just... my command only, please. How long until I have this? Guys, please don't kill it. My Marines, they have this sorted. You don't need to destroy it. Please? Pretty please? Oh, we captured it and then it blew up. I don't know if it blew up on its own or if one of theirs blew it up the moment we took control of it. Could be one or the other. Have you ever found out what with that weird reddish monster you keep fighting on these patrols with the derelict ship? No, I have no idea. I don't have half a clue, unfortunately. Some people have said that they've noticed it before and they've seen it before, and that it's crazy and all that its weapons that it carries, but I've never run into the thing. Although, to be fair, we do tend to avoid at-home missions. So anything that'll be a monster mission will only occur on your own friendly territory. We tend not to be on friendly territory very often. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of monsters we just don't know about. Although we have run into the intergalactic dreadnought several times, so there is that. Almost beat him once in this campaign too. I have fought it when I played this game over a decade ago. Yeah, I would assume so. The monsters can be incredibly dangerous if somewhat underdefended. Especially the missile ships. The Marak have the easiest time killing monsters. The only monster they have trouble with is the Sun Glider. Of the vanilla monsters, I should say. Everybody struggles with the Andromedans if you're not set up properly. And then there's things like the intergalactic dreadnought, and that thing's a nightmare to fight. Hi, what do we got? We got a heavy cruiser. We got an X-type heavy cruiser. It is an XCA. Ugh. On the bright side, we can charge in at full power, because we're not going to have plasma torpedoes by the time this fight is ready to go. So, shut that off. Give me extra power so I can move things. And let's go a full forward shield reinforcement. Reinforce that. Phasers set to overload. We're going to get on top of him, we're going to tractor him, and we're just going to lay into him for the turn and a half that we're going to have by the time we actually catch up to him. Power screen, please. Sap all that free power. I need more speed. I need to be on top of him, because the faster we can get on top of him, the sooner that we can really rip into him before he has any chance to respond, which is, of course, the primary goal. Start to slow down now, because we don't need to be going as fast. Our forward shield is already set to absorb all this power. And we got you. Okay. Now, I wish that I had had the foresight to prepare... Well, no, I was about to say that I had the foresight to prepare a wild weasel, but upon sober reflection, that would be a dumb idea. The wild weasel would never get through. Okay, he's let us go. Or rather, we've let him go. Let's see if we can't keep holding on to him. The more times we can hold on to him, the better. Because that increases our accuracy, that prevents him from cloaking. That's just a very helpful thing all around. Marines, go. I will take Marines over to your ship, and I will shoot through that hole in your shields. Okay, he's weakening our shields quite severely. Cloak. Because he's about to have plasma torpedoes, and I don't want to deal with that just yet. I'm going to let him fire his plasma torpedoes into one of my buddies. And we're just going to hang in cloak for a bit. There he goes. And we get to come out of cloak once again. And hopefully we can get a couple of missiles on him. Come on. Come on, give me shots. There we go. Long-range phaser X shots are not particularly fantastic, but hey, anything counts. More missiles onto him. Maybe we can bait out another wild weasel. He is getting himself way back up to speed. That's one of the best things about the X ships, is just how fast they can go while charging their weapons. Okay, actually, that's not true at all. Because most of the X ships are so heavily overgunned that they can barely move with all of their weapons charging. I know for a fact that the Federation XCA cannot move while charging all of its weapons. Unless you drop the phaser capacitor down, but who wants to do that? Okay, that was indeed a wild weasel. You wild weaseled for 4 missiles that weren't going to catch you anyway. Okay. Whatever floats your boat, man. Let's align up close to him. We're going to nail him with a... Okay, that sucks. He managed to nail us with his fast plasma... Oh, wow. We're about to get really nailed by that fast plasma torpedo. So that goes most of our armor at this point. We're just going to hold on to him now at this point and just lay into him. And fix that, and we'll be good. And we're perfectly happy with what we've got right now. And start laying into him with as many phasers as we can manage. Yeah, it always sucks when you forget just how long it takes them to charge things. I'm just gonna sit here and blast into him continuously. Actually, what I should do is I should start sending Marines over to blow up key systems. Like those D-type plasma torpedoes. Marines, if I wanted to steal the ship, I would only need to get 2 over there. Go Marines. Now, the trouble is I can't leave my Marines to do this thing. Because he's just too dangerous to leave. So, we're gonna go... capture. And we'll also come up... We don't do this often, but on occasion we do it. Because it's very funny. We'll just continue to lay into him with phaser fire and capture the vessel because I want a Romulan X-type heavy cruiser. I think it would be awesome to have. It's just unfortunate that the game won't let me keep it at the end of this battle. 5 versus 1. I think we've got you. Okay, we've got you. Now we just need to wait for my Marines to successfully capture, which will hopefully happen before you get to fire into the plasma torpedo. Hopefully the ship would go boom. What ship? His ship? No, I want this ship. We're stealing this ship. There we go. We got the cargo. Okay. Fleet, back to proper kill, blow everything up, fall out of formation. Ungui, try and keep formation as best as you can, and I'm going to let you go. Alright, power on engines. Let's catch up with the rest of the fleet. We've already managed to take out 1, and fortunately, because of the position of the spawns, we can... because of the position of the spawn, they actually had to come towards us. So that fight did not take nearly as long effectively as it otherwise normally would. Patch that. Won't not the wood. I get what you're saying, but it still is an amusing thing to see. All these freighters, on the other hand, they will self-destruct if you try and board them, for reasons. And all heavy weapons are charged. Let's just jump up full speed on the engines. And this is the Hodgson, which is a little tiny police cruiser, is the thing that managed to kill somebody so far. Oh no, it must have been the Black Ace. I didn't realize that you were friendly. We may as well pass over this guy and annihilate him. Now, one of the really tragic things, though, about this pirate campaign has been that the Orion pirates have terrible, and I mean terrible, X-type heavy cruisers. They're almost as bad as the Romulan ones. Well, no, they are worse than the Romulan ones, but that's by virtue of them being Orion pirates and not any proper faction. Oh, I'm still set on kill half the things, not all the things. Hi. I'm trying to kill you and make up for the fact that we just wasted a little bit of time. Unfortunately, you're going to Wild Weasel, which will protect you from the most powerful weapon in the game, in terms of single target damage. And let me just get up to the front of the formation. Oh, fighter squadrons. Interesting. Okay. Cute. It's not going to save you tractor beaming them. Although that is a pretty decent strategy to get rid of their innate defenses. So we're just going to pull up right on next to him and continue to lay into him. Actually, we can increase the speed of time. We've got this pretty well handled at this point. Got a small heavy cruiser, or a small freighter. Now we have just the free trader, who has easily and completely and totally annihilated that fighter squadron. So an interesting little close-range battle. You don't normally get into that sort of knife fight with an XCA before they have an opportunity to shoot back. Worked out quite nicely. It also does show the one main weakness of the Romulans. Just if you manage to get the jump on them, it takes them a while to get themselves fully re-rigged to do combat. And repair. And repair. And yeah, we may as well. I wish there was just a button that was like max all, instead of having to go through every single ship individually to reset all their stuff. Have you considered setting up a Discord server to gather the Starfleet Command community? We were actually just talking about this earlier, and the general consensus has been that people would definitely like it. I don't have the time to do much with it just yet, so it's going to have to be in a little while. But yeah, the topic has come up and has been, well, seemingly accepted by the rest of the community. So, with that in mind, I'm going to have to do a little bit of looking into Discord, just how you handle running servers and that sort of thing, because it's not something I've ever done. But yeah, I'll look forward to that, I suppose, in the near future. Oh, and it's a diplomatic delivery. So we will have to deal with them. I suppose Discord would be an easier way of keeping up with people to make sure that, like, messages actually got out. Oh, hi, you're K-10. Were you the K-10 that we were fighting with that one time when we were fighting against the K-9 and the two Maulers? Because, I don't want to have to kill you, but I will. And we have the Redemptio, which is the KDP with us, which is terrible. He's only got 2 S-type plasma torpedoes, 3 phaser X's, and 4 phaser 3s. It's almost a freighter at this point. For a Klingon, anyway. So we're setting up all of our defensive weapon systems. We will, of course, hopefully be able to annihilate him without getting killed. But a K-10 is one hell of an opponent. We do outnumber him, though. That does work in our favor. Although he has a heck of a lot more plasma than we do. We have 3 plasma torpedoes in total. My R and his 2 S's. He's going to have 2 R's, 2 S's, 2 F's. And then, I believe he also has like 2 or 4 plasma Ds, which means these will do nothing. Get ourselves up to a proper speed and also set up all the defenses. We're gonna need the electronic countermeasures, we're gonna need the point defense phaser, or not phasers, but the enhanced shielding. And come over to the power screen and tell me how much power I have to steal from the shield system as we zip up to full power. I think I want a scatter pack. So we'll go with 2 scatter packs and a single Wild Weasel. That should be a sufficient amount of firepower to actually deal with him. I don't know if it's a foolproof plan, but it's mine. Get more missiles going. If we can stack up a large enough salvo, we could get some really interesting things going. I just don't think we can. Slow down a bit. Get us down to speed of 24. If I can get one more salvo out, that might actually work. He might actually be tricked by that. Because he will have 6 incoming missiles, and, well, the AI tends to panic about 4. So, there is that. So, can I get anything through? We're going to have to fire this relatively early on. Oh, another set of missiles. We are going to get 4 missiles out. Okay, this might work. In addition, of course, to that, full power. Pull away, pull away, pull away. I could do the Romulan thing and cloak at this point. Ooh. Forgot about you. You're going to be a difficult to handle independent battery. Are you going to react to this? You do. Okay, he cares. I don't know why he cares, but he does. Unfortunately, he also got enough missiles off, or enough D-type plasma torpedoes off that he will be able to completely defend himself. Or keep this shuttle on for long enough. You only have 1? That can't be right. I'm only seeing 1. So, yeah, interesting. So he did have to sacrifice all of his initiative in order to deal with the Wild Weasel. That is working in our favor. Wow, you're doing 28. Maybe that'll help. We've got him pincered from two sides. Of course, he fires a plasma torpedo as his last desperate act. Oh, I didn't realize the KDP was a full-on pseudo-frigate tender. That could work in our favor. Let's get the tractor beam charged up. We need to get around to his stern. We need to be dealing a lot of damage. Phasers to overload, and wow. He just annihilated all that. Although his plasma torpedoes are no longer charged. So I can get in close enough and just nail him with everything I've got. We may be able to get a little bit of damage on him. And that's gotta be it. Hopefully the closure rate will get me close enough that I can actually hold on to him in time to bring those missiles into the fold. And that might be enough for a full-on saturation barrage. He is traveling away from us, which does mean we'll probably catch him at the distance of 2.5. Unless the beam strength crash. It does not. Fire everything. And start to slow down. He does have 4 D-type plasma torpedoes. That's going to be rough to get through. All weapons fire. Marines. 9 Marines. You don't say. That's actually really reasonable. Consider we have 48 Marines. How much longer do I want to be attached to you? Not much longer anyway, but yeah, thanks for the separation, I guess. 7. I'm sending over my Marines. In fact, ships. Capture. I think we got him. I think we have him. We do. Okay. That's a mostly intact dreadnought right there. All power to engines. Set course for the planet. Guys, stick in tight formation. We're not playing with him anymore. We've got him. We officially have more Marines on board than he does, and he's got no way to stop that. So that is a slightly used condition K-10 dreadnought. Most of the systems are still fully intact. It's almost at a full bar even. Guys, get tighten up here. Just avoid the dreadnought. We don't want to antagonize him too much. We want to steal him. Down to 1. Come on. Defeat the last remaining Marine team. It's 4 on 1. You think it would happen faster? Oh, hi, planet. Ooh, let's slow down so we don't smash into it. And cruise on in there. Distance. We captured it. Oh, we've got a mostly mint condition dreadnought. Okay, it can't be mint condition. A slightly used. We'll go with that one. Beam him over. Alright, so that was, I suppose extremely profitable. Almost had deja vu with the planet collision. Have you recently watched that episode? We've only done it once, but we will always remember it. Only 370? Dude, we captured a K-10 dreadnought. I could probably count the number of those things with just my hands and toes that exist in the actual Starfleet Battles universe. Well, we're back over 12,000. We'll check the shipyard just real quick. I don't expect any sort of dreadnought or super heavy carrier or anything to be there, but it doesn't hurt to look. You're watching the first Marat campaign? Oh, yeah, yeah. We've learned so much since then, but oh, losing that carrier. Because it had been, like, the carrier. We had done so well with it for so long, and then it was just, whoops, bump. Planets do not bounce very well with people. Oh, you actually did use your Wild Weasel. Only 7 and 2 missiles? These guys are not firing enough missiles. Or maybe I'm firing too many. Fully kit ourselves back up with that one. Get the shuttles. Yep, we're all set. Continue the invasion. Pirate campaign, it lasts forever. You shall never escape it, unfortunately. We are getting a lot of damage done, though. And we are being escorted today by the Desperado, who is rather unremarkable. As well as the Raider, who is a little bit more remarkable, but still nothing too amazing. We got a freighter. Anything cool? Well, you are the defense. You're a light cruiser. A single Romulan light cruiser appears to be their only defense. Full powered engines. Let's just catch up with this group, and we'll lay into them as fast as we can. So I'm curious, for those of you who are actually long-time watchers of the channel, what is your favorite season at this point? I think I know what my favorite season probably was, and it was probably season 11. Just because we got to do the throwback to the Federation, we had learned so much and did a lot better than season 1. Season 1 is definitely my least favorite season because, well, it's filled full of technical mistakes and the quality is not pretty good. So, yeah, what about you guys? What you guys think of that? Which ones were your favorites? Favorite season is Rogue Tech Season 1. No, of the Starfleet Command, but thank you very much for the compliment. And explosions. Come on. Bomb him. Really? He got away from that? Oof. You know what? If you're going to stay in cloak, I'm going to ignore you. So I'm going to say, kill whoever you want. I'm going in and I'm just going to blow up everything I can get my hands on. Because at the end of the day, he is just a light cruiser. He doesn't really have the ability to stop anything. He's not one of the light cruisers who has multiple plasma R torpedoes. Oops, we're still holding on to them. Yes, we're propelling you forward. We have given you quite a bit of ground there. And then, not so much. Raider, you've been along for a while. At least 3 months, right? Fairly new, but I like watching you maul your enemies with... And of course, the working videos. I only watched until Season 4 so far, the ISC. ISC was a lot of fun. The PPD is just a fascinating weapon system. I enjoyed it immensely. Alright, how much left? You are the only one left. We destroyed your entire convoy and you're still around. You are just an absolute metric failure of a something. A Romulan? Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what he is. Okay, we'll use that just to take out the shuttle super quick. High energy turn. We'll get this done relatively soon. Goodbye. You survived that. You did not survive that. Yeah, the ISC was a lot of fun. The ISC was originally the faction that we were doing for our stream campaign. Unfortunately, we ran into what I thought was a bug, but I'm no longer positive is a bug anymore. Because we were attacking a planet and the Empire defense would start to go up. Now, I'm not 100% sure what was going on there, but we have had quite a few weird Empire defense things going on with our current campaign, which makes me wonder if it's completely bugged out or not. Although we had also kind of reached like the end of the tech tree in that one. We were in a battlecruiser, or we had been in a battlecruiser. We had a couple of rough missions in that one. But yeah, if you like the ISC, you can check out the ISC stream, the Interstellar Streaming Campaign. I think I have a playlist for that. I'm not 100% sure if it's complete. That's one of the things I've really got to improve on. I don't keep my playlists up to date as well as I should. I've been trying to, but doesn't work out quite as well as I'd hope I should do it. But I'll try later. Is this quarters? This is quarters. I didn't even look at the mission name, unfortunately. So it's this one. We're going to once again scan a planet, and then scan the other planet, and then leave. But first what we're actually going to do is we're going to scan the planet, kill the ship behind the planet, and then scan the other planet, and then leave. It's a little bit convoluted, but hey, at the end of the day, we'll get prestige out of it, and that's about it. Charging the plasma torpedo up, all the power because the phaser capacitor is fully ready. The amount of energy that we sink into that phaser capacitor is 20 points of power. 20. That is huge. I mean, it's a lot of firepower out of the phaser X's, but still, 20 points of power for so many other things. On the bright side, for this version of quarters, this is just another PL5, so there's no PLPH. It can't actually shoot us. I mean, it can shoot us if we get close enough to it, but it doesn't have 8 phaser 4s and 8 plasma S torpedoes, so we do have that going for us. So we'll slide on in, get nice and close with the planet. Distance of about 10, use the deep scan. That'll give us the information that we need. We'll be able to move on to the next one. Start to slow down. We don't need to smash into the planet. We just need to get to 10. And science. And start doing the science. You pirates. So all the weird things about quarters. We'll keep an orbit going. It is heavily populated with the Romulans. Alright, cool. Show off the deep scan, gives us additional power. And we'll orbit around until we find the other enemy, who will be just so happen to be hiding behind this planet. Hey, look at him. He's a freighter. That is the weakest thing we've ever run into. Normally these are Gorn dreadnoughts. Normally the Gorn liked parking dreadnoughts behind their planets, but recently we have been running into a lot of just random freighters. I shouldn't complain, because freighters make it easy to kill and then move on to our next science mission. But still, it's very odd. Although this actually does make a heck of a lot more sense. Although he's right on the edge of the corner of the map, so let's just make sure that we don't run off the map. The Sweet Iris, and he's mostly dead at this point. He is starting to accelerate. Unfortunately, he doesn't have... Oh, he still has a tractor beam, though. I was about to say he doesn't have a shuttle bay anymore, and so no defense against missiles. But he still had enough tractor beams to handle all of our systems. Alright, on to the other planet. We'll scan him, and we'll bug off and move into something a little bit more difficult. So... Alright, all ready for the scientist. You know it's the important planet because it's glowing. Alrighty, what do we got here? And of course, our little buddies zipping all over the place. Unfortunately, we are going to have to drag them off the map, which is always a little bit irritating, because normally they will not follow you off the map, although the one time they did, which was pretty fun. It was for quarters, or not quarters, for Hold the Line. The mission where we scan a deep space probe. They followed us off. It was amazing. There wasn't anything else for them to do, but... Alright, scanners are picking up intense energy readings from the planet's core. That means that the planet will start shooting you if it's a PLPH, but it is not this time, so we'll just leave. Warp drive engaged. Bounce over to the Sabretooth. Sabretooth, pick your course. Get on out of here. At full power, if you don't mind. And the last one should be off in this direction. And we'll get our destroyers on out of here. That's the other thing Starfleet Command 4, the most important thing, is control over destroyers, control over fighters, and control over pseudo-frigates. You need to have more options. It shouldn't just be, like, smarter. It needs to give you better ways of controlling them. Because as it stands right now, they're pretty random. And it can be really frustrating at times. Empire Defense is 29! Can we take it? Technically, it should only require 6 more missions. But... well, we've seen how that goes every single time. Alright, what do we got? It is a light cruiser, as well as a frigate. We're being escorted today by a K5R, the Flamaciptor. The Flamaciptor is normally a much larger vessel than that. As well as what appears to be a light cruiser. Are you... yeah, you're an Alphabet Soup Destroyer. SBHE-1. Not sure quite what that is, but you should have a couple of pseudo-frigates, which will make my life a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. Give the shield reinforcement. Using cloak, which is an interesting strategy. They don't normally dump into cloak, but we did get rather close. So I have no one to blame but myself. SBXs, you have very big R-type plasma torpedoes. So there is that working very much against us. He's opening fire from long range. 2 of these should be R-type plasma torpedoes, I believe, for the SBX, or it may just be the 1. And he stopped. Oh, it's 2 S's and an R. Okay. Now we got to get around to his side. Actually, I'm going to dump these just to take care of the missile decoy. Although, I didn't realize we're being escorted today by the Fendere, who is a Regal Hawk with an R-type plasma torpedo, and he turned away from me. I'm very confused by your choice of strategy, sir, but I'm not going to complain. We're turning off early because, well, he has an R-type plasma torpedo, and I'd rather not get any closer than that than I absolutely have to. Phasers to self-defense. Yeah, we still lost the F-shield, but that's okay, because we're cruising away at quite the speed. A little bit of damage getting on through from that other torpedo, but we're alright. You, on the other hand, could prove to be irritating. You have a lot of D-type plasma torpedoes, we do. And that makes you annoying, but not necessarily deadly. Although in his position where he is right now, he could be, because we don't have any F shields at the moment. I'd like to fire a couple of missiles, but he's traveling at a speed of 31 right behind me. Mine bay is not ready. Phasers to overload. We're going to give him an overrun pass here. And I can bounce it. Decent amount of damage. Did knock out our forward shield with the follow-up phasers, but other than that, we're pulling out of that one pretty good. And we've knocked out his plasma R torpedo, feeling very happy about that one. Where is our other enemy? It's you and... oh, it's you. The Calum, currently sitting at the bottom of Cloak. Guys, I don't think you need to fire any more heavy plasma torpedoes. Well, it is an F, I suppose. Okay, we took him. Good. On to the next one, the SBHE-1. And missiles won't get through because he's got too many D-type plasma torpedoes, but phasers definitely will. And he's not incredibly well endowed with point defense, or with normal weapons. He's only got 2 normal F torpedoes. So we should be able to lay into him pretty well. Especially our destroyers. Our destroyers are pretty monstrously powerful at times. So we'll duck in around the mine. Come on, Fendra, you have enough phaser batteries in order to take him. Also, he's making my trip towards him a little bit more difficult. More phasers to cut on through. Pop a couple of missiles. And nailed him anyway. I don't know why his point defense torpedoes did not get that, but that works well because now we have an opening through his shield with which to continue to engage. We do need to slow down if we want the rest of the phasers back online, and we do, because that's how we're going to kill him. And what do we got? At this point, not a whole lot. We need to wait for the phaser capacitor to charge up. We've got nothing in the photon torpedoes, and the missile rack is taking a while to recharge, so we're going to slow down a bit, let him get his distance out. It's not super important at this point, because as much as he wants to run, he's not going to be able to get anywhere. Let's check out our other little Romulan friend. The Calum only has a pair of G-type plasma torpedoes, and he does not appear to be super interested in chasing us. Excellent. Phaser capacitor is almost charged. Able to rush on in with that one as soon as it is. And the Calum is being engaged by one of our destroyers, but the destroyers are currently set to try and maintain formation, so he's not going to actually go in after him, which is kind of how I want it at the moment. Okay, full speed since we now have the phaser capacitor fully charged. That'll open up a couple more options for us to dive on him. Again, no chance in using the missile racks just yet, although we did get a lucky shot on through once so far. You shouldn't have any actual defenses yet. He managed to cut right through our forward shield, but that was kind of to be expected. As we come around, he still has the D-type plasma torpedoes. Yeah, that's what I thought. I had to check. And we'll slow down once again. Decent amount of damage done to him so far. He's down to a speed of 8.4, which really indicates that. And it looks like the Fendra got a pretty decent shot off on our little friend over here. And he's probably dead at this point. He's not in cloak. He doesn't have a shuttle bay. Yeah. Not something he wants to deal with. You're still not cloaking, which really does surprise me. I would have expected you to dive into cloak at any point by now, but you didn't. So I'm just going to count that as one of my blessings, and yeah, take care of your Alexa. Alrighty, so that cleans up those pirates. I suppose technically we are the pirates, not them. 172 prestige is our reward. Come on, cartel defense. Nope, cartel defense holding at 29. Making life all the more difficult. Supply, patch up the little dents in the ship. We're more or less good on things, so let's just hop right back in. Keep the pressure going. And quarters, no thank you. Look, quarters is a long mission, and it's not a particularly valuable mission, I suppose. So we'll just skip quarters on that one. We'll dive into a monster. With any luck, it won't be the intergalactic dreadnought. Nope, it's a sun glider. Alright, so we are dealing with a sun glider as well as a pair of Andromedans who apparently have decided to become park rangers. And we're being escorted today by the RIS Fede Avis, as well as the RIS Shikra, which is a heavy bombardment cruiser. So we've got all of the Romulan-friendly fleet on this one. Yeah, you're a fast plasma destroyer. Oh, that's cute. So the Andromedans are kind of dangerous, but not horrifically so. The heavy cruiser of the Andromedans can actually launch... Oh, whoa, what? Okay, remember how I said I was hoping we did not run into the intergalactic dreadnought? For those of you not in the know, that's the intergalactic dreadnought. Okay, we have a problem. We have a significant problem. He has Gatling phasers and the ability to shoot down our incoming missiles, which makes things difficult. The Andromedan, not so much. He's only a light cruiser. Don't really care. But this guy, he has lots of phaser 4s. He's got an invulnerable shield, which he can set to any facing. He's a nightmare. He is a nightmare in every single sense of the word. So let's just, well, we brought two X-type heavy, an X-type heavy cruiser and a fast plasma destroyer. So maybe that'll be enough. Okay, first things first, we gotta pull these guys off the field. Because he's gonna require the concentrated attentions of everybody. The Sun Glider is dangerous, but unable to defend himself from plasma torpedo bombardment, because he does not have any sort of wild weasels. He does have an innate attack shift, which is annoying, but he's manageable. The Andromedan, he's a destroyer Andromedan. Doesn't really matter all that much. In fact, I'll start dumping missiles on him already. He probably gets shot down by the Sun Glider, which is an SGL, Sun Glider Large. But we might be able to get some stuff done. Hey, we're already getting shot at by the Andromedans. And there comes some phaser fire. Within 8, I'm going to open fire from that. There it goes. He's been chunked open. Excellent. Start to pull away. Shield's holding quite nicely, actually. And a whole big missile barrage getting in through. Excellent. Most of his Gatlings are burned out. That'll be a nice amount of damage done to him. We haven't managed to actually break anything yet, which is kind of unfortunate because I was hoping to knock out one of those phaser 4s by now. But in his current position, he's lost a Gatling. Let's add in more fire. We're focusing on the Sun Glider before we take care of the Dreadnought. Does the Dreadnought have a different... the Intergalactic Dreadnought is not in the base game. He does not show up. So, yes, he does have a different model in the vanilla game. Hi, I don't like facing someone this big, but you have been quite badly mauled, so that may mitigate some of that. Let's prep another counterpack. We're going to need it. Lots of high energy turns coming out of the Sun Glider. Our shields are in relatively okay shape. Not amazing, but not terrible. Okay, the shield is now gone. I was really worried by saying that I was going to invite incoming phaser 4 fire, and guess what happened? Incoming phaser 4 fire. Intergalactic Dreadnought, I am not facing away from you, so you're going to turn in by now, so I'm not going to waste the scatter pack that I've got. Smoking Husk, that's good to hear. All his weapon systems are offline. The missiles will take him. So we've almost cleared the board except for Mr. Big Bad. Oh wow, you survived that. You should not have. Phasers, take away his survival. Stop now, please. Okay, now his survival has been dealt with. On to you. Photon torpedoes. Miss, but it was a 50% chance, so I can't blame the gunnery crews too much for that one. If they miss a few more times, then I'll start blaming. Okay, Sun Glider off the board. So now we're just down to him. We've already managed to knock out one of his rear shields. Excellent. I'd love to be able to start dumping missiles into him. The problem is, one, he can shoot them down. As you can see, he has a lot of phaser 1s. But more importantly... Oh, wow, that was gorgeous. The heavy bombardment cruiser just getting in there and nailing him with all those torpedoes. 186 damage out of that. Although, as you can see, the Shikra is not having a good time of it either. So, let's get in there and see if we can't deal a little bit of damage. We need... honestly, we need more speed, but we need our weapons fully charged before we need that more speed. So this is as fast as we go. Although, I'll start sapping from the electronic countermeasure budget. That explains why I never met it. The background on the planet is the monsters. Yeah, the background panel on the MFD is the big red rust monster, I kind of want to call it. Don't do that, guys. I need to be able to launch my missiles through, and if you put mines on top of them, that stops happening. Oh, are we going to slay the... We slayed the Intergalactic Dreadnought. Beautiful. So we actually got him. We killed the Intergalactic Dreadnought. I'm not sure if we've ever done that before. Unfortunately, no cartel defense. No cartel defense was removed. Supplies. Yes, I need more. Patch up even more. Alright, pop back over here. Missions. Epicenter, no. Just not going to do it. We are not doing Epicenter. Because it's annoying and frustrating, and it's a dumb mission. MET-10 patrol for all your patrolling needs. All hands on deck. These remind me so much of X-Wings. It makes me want a Star Wars mod of this. So if you know any major Star Wars fans, show them this game and then say, how cool would it be if you could play Star Wars Armada on the computer? And then see if you can convince them to make models and change everything. I would actually probably help with that if like a full-on mod project was started for that. Probably shouldn't say things like that considering we mostly do Star Trek on this, but still, I like both series. They're a lot of fun. We're currently dealing with 2 light cruisers so far. HBD-XSR and HBD-X1. Both of them are Alphabet Super Destroyers, as well as ACMF, which is a heavy cruiser. You're going to be difficult because you brought more plasma to the fight than I did, so that's not fun. Slow down, make sure that we charge all our weapon systems. We've got 3 photon torpedoes and an R-type plasma torpedo. Unfortunately, the Romulans didn't decide to actually help us. which is a bit odd because we are so deep in Romulan territory right now. Alright, we gotta kill the heavy cruiser, but the light cruisers will be easier to knock out. As long as we avoid the initial volley, we should be fine. How are you on Marines, by the way? Maybe I can cheat. 14, 16, 16. You put more Marines on a light cruiser, a heavy war destroyer, no less. I think your priorities are a bit off. Okay, we have the free power, so let's start kicking in the point defense, or the shield reinforcement. I keep trying to call it a point defense system. It is not. It is just a reinforcing of the shields. This is literally all auxiliary power to shields moments. Alright, Wild Weasel is ready. Let's get the pseudo-torpedo out, as well as a pair of missiles to take care of his inevitable response. And oh my, that is scary. Oh, also he has pseudo-frigates. That's not good. Please do not go after me. The one faction I do not like after the Orion Pirates Plus model updates is the Gorn. Because every single Gorn ship is identical, and I do not like that at all. I think they should have their own quirkiness to them. Now, this is more accurate to the tabletop, sure, but one, it's hard to tell them apart, and two, it's not as cool. And I believe very strongly in the rule of cool. There we go, getting all the heavy weapons involved on that one. We're probably going to lose the Sabretooth. His days of always getting shot at by everybody are almost over because he's about to die. Do not help each other, guys. We don't want you to do that. Overload the phasers. Should have had these set to overload before, but hey, that allowed us to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of positioning. And we've got him mostly dead at this point. I just need to get a couple more good phaser hits and he'll be out of this. Well, there goes the Sabretooth. Very unfortunate. Our shields are about to collapse on the port left, on the port rear shield. Come on, just a little bit more. I do need to pull. Oh, we got him. And missile launcher 1. Come on, get distance. There we go. And missile launcher 2. You can't fire missiles from point blank range, unfortunately. Even though that would be really cool. Who's next? You are next. Because you launched a Wild Weasel recently, and that leaves you incredibly vulnerable. Alright, we'll open him up a bit. Full power. You are the CM, the fire brigade. Hi, deal with that, please. Okay, lots of good hits there. Most of our forward shields are gone, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's get some engine repair going on here. And that did not work. Okay, so we have none of that. Aft shield actually held. Very surprising to me. Let's kick on the engine doubling at this point. We need the additional power. And we need to just keep up the fire. Please tell me you didn't shoot at me. You did shoot. We're dead. Talk about perfect timing. Oh, so we managed to evade both of their plasma torpedoes at the very last minute. We're going to have to slow down quite a bit because this is going to get ugly. Because we're facing into an explosive device and we have no shields. Do I have much in the way of power at all? I've got 62 thanks to the engine doubling. So, give me short... Oh, you did have a thing. Okay, we're hurt quite badly now. Phasers. Give me a shot on his open shield and I'll be a happy man. There's kind of no point at this point. We are badly damaged. At this point, I'm just trying to get as much damage out before I switch my flag over to the blade caster. Because cloaking's just going to get us out of here. But it's not going to... It probably actually won't even save us. With how badly damaged the ship is, it's probably going down. So we're just waiting to change our flag. Which will happen soon. Why does the lock keep flickering off? Yeah, everybody's already taken to the escape pods. This ship's basically running on auto at this point. It has no weapon systems. It's about to have a single phaser X. 22 points of power. That means it has 11, by the way, because we're currently on engine doubling. Alright, I'm done with this. Pop over here. He's got nothing left, so we may as well just get things started. Alrighty, so I never liked that ship anyway. Let's get ourselves to just a forward shield reinforcement and kick that sucker on high phasers. That is all phasers, okay. Set up to overload. 2 is missile rack and the heavy photon. 3 is... That's a weird combination. Photon torpedoes on 2, if you do not mind. And missiles on 3. Lovely. Okay, missiles away. And phasers. Okay, that worked. I didn't know if he would have it or not, but he did. So we managed to avoid that, and we've taken out the heavy cruiser. And now we get to use our X-Wing to take out the HPD X-1. Heavy photons are ready, so they can crack through his shields. How's my current power generation? Okay, I'm not actually engine doubling right now. Power generation is quite lots. More power, please. Let's get burning away from this. Let's see if I can't turn this in time. Come on, come on. Turn, 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 turn. We're going to get hurt a little bit, but we can bring a good shield around. Bounced. Excellent. Okay. More power to engines. Let's get things rolling. All up and select. I think I can bore right through you. Nope, you still had one more. So bounce it. Point blank range shot. Got a decent hit with the photon torpedoes. One of them hit anyway. Oh, wow. That's unexpected. Who has aft firing plasma S's? Leave him over the destroyer and kick the captain out of the chair. Well, he's proven on numerous occasions that he really can't do his job all that effectively. Your shields are down. Where do these phaser X's shoot? Oh, they are forward. It's just we don't have power. Alright, let's kick on the doubling. Alright, now we have power for anything we could ever want. We're about to have full electronic countermeasures. We're going to have a ton of forward shields. We're going to be able to charge everything and move as fast as we like. Isn't playing pirates wonderful? Oh, of course you take out my forward port shield. Now I don't like you. I officially am going to annihilate you. Prepare. Oh, you're about to expose a nice open shield. Dude, you're nowhere near ready to plasma anchor me yet, so why would you do it? I'm gonna let him hold on, but that's just because I'm bored with him. I am reinforcing the forward shield, yes? Yes, we are. Okay. Steadily whittling away at all of his shields. I should probably wait until I've got a barrage that can actually just penetrate. Although he's about to have some very nasty things, so let's work on a repel beam. And turn, and turn, and turn. Okay, you're a jerk, officially. As long as he doesn't break my heavy photon torpedoes, I'm relatively happy to be here. Ooh, nailed him with that one. So let's fix up. I think we need to refresh the repair screen. Oh, no, we didn't. And we only have a single phaser X out. So fix that. Gatling phaser's a little bit firing. We need to give the phaser capacitor more time to charge. Ugh, full speed. We need to start moving quickly. Because he does have a plasma torpedo, I believe. Probe. Yeah, he does. He has 2 Gs. Oh, it's perfectly fine. We're at 66 power. He's dented a couple of heavy weapons, but he hasn't broken anything. Okay, he's broken things, but not anything important. That we can just stay at range with him. Why is my electronic countermeasure not set? Set to 6. I wanted full power. I want him to have to burn tons of energy if he wants to deal with that. I have no missiles, right? Yeah, we're out of missiles. So we don't care about that. Photon torpedoes would take a while to fix, but I'm about to have the time to fix it with. So high speed, low drag, and evasive maneuvers. That'll put our defense shift up higher. Allow us to do whatever we want, just to get in close. Which we do need to get in close. We're almost ready with the phasers, but not quite. Repairs. Keep those repairs going. Forward shield is back, so cut theoretics. Alright, nailed him quite happily with that one. And yeah, he did get us with a plasma torpedo, but who cares? It wasn't a particularly powerful plasma torpedo. Although, where do you get an aft-firing G-type plasma torpedo? Seriously, who builds that onto a ship? Point defense systems, please. Thank you. Just weaken it as much as we can before it actually gets to us. I'm surprised our forward shield is back. But I think we've dealt more damage to him than he has to us. Could be wrong on that one. We might be fighting a losing battle. I mean, technically we are. The moment you hit that engine doubling button, you're fighting on the clock. Because you cannot out-repair its damage. It will always deal more damage to you than you can repair. Especially if you're under fire from other ships. So, we're about to have to deal with that soon. Probe, how are we doing? All of them are offline. I love it. We're going to pull right up on top of them, nail them with every single one of our phasers. We do have one that's not quite active yet, so we're going to have to deal with that. But I think this has got you. And bowl him over, and the Gatling phasers are the things we're really bringing into the fight. Come on, other Gatling phaser. Other Gatling phaser. There we go. Keep the repairs going. He's down to a speed of 8. He's lost one of his G-type plasma torpedoes. He's lost most of his aft phaser array. Although he still has the forward one. And we'll just continue to loop on through him at high speed. We're down to 65 of 66. So, not terrible. We are keeping the repairs going at a pretty decent rate here. So we just need to get back on. I believe we're at max high energy turn. We should be fine with that one, which we will. All weapons select. Just to cut the corner a little bit closer. Hi. GCS Eradicator. A very bold name. Alrighty. So that's the Gorn Man defeated. They brought more plasma to the fight, but at the end of the day, we're X-type destroyers. 144 prestige is our reward, which doesn't quite pay up for the cost of, you know, the destroyers that are now gone, but we have a lot of money. Quick check through, make sure there's nothing special. There's only a BCH-3, which is a single plasma R, 4 missile launchers, and it's boring. Well, change can be brutal at times, but that's fine. Alright, buy this because you only cost 1,200 and you're amazingly effective. Same deal with this. Hey, look at that. We're an entire X-type destroyer squadron again. 135 damage. Get a couple of shuttles. Restock on missiles. We'll restock all the ships. Oh, come on. Max out the missiles there. So we'll restock all our vessels and go out on one last mission. Spare parts, mines, and marines for all the cool things. Do I need to get shuttles again? I don't. You have good shuttles. You need to be improved to Type 4, medium, and maximum speed. I don't really need to give you stuff, but I'm going to just in case I have to jump over into them. So everybody say hi to the Warbride and the Babylon, and our new primary vessel, the Bladecaster. Now, some of you may think that's a massive downgrade, but at the end of the day, this is an X-type destroyer. It is a fantastic ship, regardless of everything else. So, not much of a downgrade if we're completely honest with ourselves. Also, because it's technically a destroyer, or a light cruiser, I suppose, technically, if we want to go by the game logic, we shouldn't have to fight super dangerous enemies anymore. Which is both good and bad. Also, they're incredibly cheap to replace. I mean, they're 1,200. 1,200 for a ship that brings all of this capability to the table, which is more than a little ridiculous. Missions, patrol. Is the intergalactic dreadnought canon? Yes, it is. It's for Starfleet battles, not Star Trek. Starfleet battles is technically like a side canon, but the intergalactic dreadnought was actually in one of their special like magazine events that they all used to do way back in the 80s, where they'd publish a magazine like Rogue Trader for Warhammer 40k, and in that magazine they would have missions and stuff, and the intergalactic dreadnought is from that. Alright, so phasers, photon torpedoes, missile rack, and blank. It's great. Phasers set them to overload. We're being escorted today by the K-7R, the RIS Jaya Hart, as well as the freighter, the RIS Shikra, and we're currently squaring off against a K9 dreadnought. Very, very dangerous. Let's see, Intergalactic Dreadnought SFB. Yep, Starfleet battles base except ADB. No, not that one. But if you do type that into Google, it has a link to Federation Commander Reference Rulebook. No, that was not what I was looking at. I'm half doing this while also trying to play the game at the same time. I probably shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's somewhere out there. And it's big, and it's dangerous, and it has like 4 heavy cruisers that go against it. So... well, I gotta pay attention to what's going on. Alright, so we got a single K9 at this point. We do need to prep a Wild Weasel and a Scatter Pack. Unfortunately, that's all we're gonna be able to prep. Is it the Intergalactic Dreadnought, or the Interstellar Dreadnought? Or it's the something Dreadnought. Intergalactic Dreadnought with a space in there. I have no idea where to find this. But it is on the cover of one of the magazines. It's like one of the first Starfleet Battles magazines, whatever that was called. I'm not huge into Starfleet Battles yet. I'm still learning. And I played Starfleet Command for years and years before I even knew Starfleet Battles was a thing. So, now one of the downsides is we do not have the ability to... okay, guys, that was a bit early. I should probably set them to manual fire only. We do not have the ability to launch a single Plasma R pseudo-torpedo at him and make him immediately think that he's in complete and horrific danger. So we're going to have to try and set things up a little bit differently on that one. You are shooting at my people. Please stop doing that. got another couple of missiles on him. I wonder if I could stack 4 missiles on him and get him to crash. That's 4 missiles and he's crash stopping. 4.
Decoy shuttle ready.
Now, of course, the FLPL did also fire his plasma torpedo, but seriously? 4, man. That's all you were being shot at by. We're just going to wait for it to go away. It has gone away. Fire everything. Photon torpedoes ripping open the back. Both of them managing to nail him for 32 damage. And he's trying to hold on, but we're getting through most of his tractor beams. And then the Jayahart comes in with all of his plasma torpedoes. And the Fede Avis suddenly finds out that he's in a really bad spot. Alrighty, I think we've got him mostly commanded at this point. Let's get more missiles on. He's vulnerable to seeking fire. Gotta remember that my missiles aren't 4. In fact, I'm gonna set missiles on 3 and 4 just so I can keep that easily in mind. So you are basically surrounded by pain on all sides. Yep, his tractor beam's dropped. Someone's just launched a scatter pack. He's very much dead. Well, maybe not from this barrage, but... nope, it was from that barrage. Excellent. So as you can see, X-type destroyers are quite dangerous. In fact, it is a group of 3 X-type Lyran destroyers that we call the Pack, which is sometimes a little mini-boss that we like to fight in skirmish at times. So the Empire defense is down to 19. From 54, I think it was? So if that rate continues, we will have this planet captured by the end. By the way, if you care about the general war, it's currently at this state, which looks like the Federation's winning, but mostly because we're kicking the crap out of the Romulans for them. But yeah, alright, so that's going to do it for the stream today. We streamed for about 2 hours. Always happy to have you all with us. It's great fun to have someone to kind of talk to at the side as we play our way through our pirate campaign. Hopefully, by the end of next week's stream, we should have the last planet in this cluster done, and then the only one left is this planet here at 2113 for the Romulan Star, for the Prime Industries, and then the rest of them are all super low, 5, 4, 5... easy tiles to take. So we may be able to wrap up the pirate stream next time. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I list one of these videos or do a stream, press the little bell icon. Our streams for Starfleet Command are on Wednesdays at 5, and our streams for Rogue Tech, which is Battletech, which if you've never seen that, go check out the channel. I've got all kinds of videos for it. That's on Saturdays at 5. And I will see you all in the next episode.